Yo, what's poppin'? We live. What's going on,
Oh,
everybody? Back
yo,
like we never left.
back like we never came.
We here.
Uh,
We here with the legend himself, the man, the myth. OneWorld
oh, what's
HD. What's
going on?
good, bro?
Hey, how's it been, everybody?
We're-
A
So
little one
the
world.
question everybody's asking, like, where you been, bro? Everybody's like,
I've just
what's
been
good?
preoccupied with like real life stuff. Um, like I kind of just want to take a break from like One Piece in general, because I've been doing it for what like 3 years, of course, on and off, like monthly. Um, it's just been like I do it for fun. Like I don't really do it as like a religious or like a super um scheduled thing. Obviously, I've been on and off for years, literally years. So I take breaks every so often. If you actually go back to like when I first started, I would take monthly breaks
Yeah,
all the time. But only
yeah,
now since I started like blowing up, it's become like
yeah.
kind of a big deal.
I mean, yeah. I was looking at your channel. Last video was what, 2 months ago?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
I mean,
I do that. I do that like a lot. It's just for me, like I have to be super inspired by like One Piece to make a video on it because it's like it's not that it's a
yeah.
lot of work. It's just that I want to feel like passionate about it. And for a while, I was doing like 3 videos a week at a certain point, and it
Mhm.
wasn't like too much work. It was just making me not enjoy the series as much, and that's the whole reason I started to begin with because I
Yeah,
had fun, talking about it.
yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of burnt
I
me
mean,
out of
I
the
feel you.
series for a bit.
I mean, I guess okay. So, have you been watching like other like theory videos since you've been not making videos, or you just been like away from YouTube?
No, I've been away from YouTube in general, to be honest. Like I've just been taking a break from everything. I've just been like, having fun, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I
Um,
feel that. Like I said, when I went through a span where I made like 5 theory videos in the span of a week, and it burned me out. It burned me out to the point where I was like, theories for me personally aren't that fun to make. I mean, it's just one of those where after a
yeah.
while, it's like, I'm kind of over it. I'm tired of it. So, I mean, I
Yeah,
definitely
like I
get where
could
you're
do
coming from.
discussions, interviews too. It's just like I was planning on doing that for a while and just moving away from theories altogether. But even that, it was like weekly reviews. I was like, wake up, spend like however many hours recording. Sometimes it usually takes like an hour or so, but
Yeah.
just to like edit, and, like record it or whatever. And then I had to make a thumbnail for it. And then I had to do like uploading. I had to like upload it, and it was just piling up. And I
Yeah,
was like, I don't want to have to do this every like chapter. I just want to enjoy it.
I noticed like so you would get the chapter right, and you take a panel and you would color it before you put your video out, right?
Yeah, like that's what added like a lot of time to it because I was like, I want to stand out. I don't want to, because like usually what happens is DeviantArt will like upload like I don't know 1, 2, 3 like colored panels or something, and then people will use that for their thumbnail. But what I do is like I'll find something that nobody else used and I would color it myself,
Yeah.
and that would actually get me like a lot more attention because it's like you're seeing the same thumbnail, it's just like recolored. But then with me, I would like make my own, and for some reason that made my videos stand out a little bit, and I think that got me a little bit more views, but that also added like 2 hours of like work on top of everything else. Yeah, so it's like it was kind of like killing
Yeah.
me each like chapter. Especially since like I'm doing other
I
stuff
mean,
too, like I have schoolwork and whatnot. It was like it's not just One Piece that
okay.
I'm
So I
doing all
mean,
the time.
okay. So I guess right now you don't have a time where you plan to come back. It's just gonna. I guess when you feel it again, you're gonna just come back whenever.
Yeah, if I do come, I'm probably gonna come back like I don't know soon. But I don't want to just do One Piece because I think that that's part of what was kind of getting to me is like just doing One Piece theories every like 3 times a week because it's like I
Yeah,
have a
that's
lot of
tough.
ideas. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm running out of ideas. It's just like I actually have a list like right
Yeah.
here. It's just covering them and then having to like constantly be like One Piece this, One Piece that. It's like it makes me not appreciate the
Wait.
series as much.
Wait. So I'm surprised. Like, wow. Like normally you do like a channel update though. Like, or is this like whatever?
Yeah, the
Like,
way I see my channel is just like you know, don't expect like a ton. Just like kind of watch it for fun. Like that's my mentality. I don't know. I
yeah.
should update them, but usually it's like the same thing. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, take your time, whatever.
Yeah.
So I figure it's like people
It's
kind
like,
of get it by now. Like I'm not. I
I
take
get,
just
yeah.
yeah. I just take breaks from YouTube altogether sometimes. That's all. Like
I mean, I'll feel that. I mean, I guess because it's
Yeah.
like we see like people all the time. They're like, "Yo, where's One World HD?" Like I was watching Roger and Joy Boy. They had a video together, and
Oh,
Roger was like, "Joy Boy is the new One World HD." I was like, "Oh damn."
yeah. I
So-
mean, whatever.
nah. It's all good. But all right, what's the last chapter you covered? Do you remember the last
Um,
chapter?
the last chapter I what?
You covered,
I
like you made a
covered.
video about.
Oh, covered. Okay, covered.
Yeah.
Let me actually check. I think it was. Oh, it was chapter 849. I think. Yeah. So about
8:49.
two
We're at
months
like
ago.
8:56 now. So far, based on like from 8:49 to 8:56, what are your thoughts on like this whole arc? Because I think people are kind of like this could be a trash arc or it's like borderline good. So what do you think?
The arc. Yeah, I enjoyed the arc honestly. Like, it's been pretty good so far. That's just because I'm more of like a Disney fanatic. I know Roger really enjoys this arc to some degree. It has its boring chapters, but that's probably because we're going like chapter by chapter
Right.
all at once. It's probably not too bad. But yeah, if it's a
Yeah.
weekly thing with like the breaks, yeah, that's a lot like a lot more taxing. I guess it's just you're seeing the same
I
like
mean,
just yeah,
so with
it's
the,
because it's cutting between like different random stuff happening. It's like this chapter's hype. It's like this chapter's just adding more to like sort of transitioning to a different part of the arc, I guess. And then you have breaks, and it's just like, oh, this is boring. You know.
I mean, so the thing is though, like as far as like the whole Big Mom thing, right? So do you think Big Mom knows what's going on?
Um. Yeah, Big Mom. I imagine, depending on how like Oda wants to do her character, she could be like some kind of
Yeah.
mastermind, which I think is a huge possibility. Like she seems to be super intelligent already, and it's very possible that
Yeah.
her like homies have some kind of like network going on where they tell her like what's happening at all times on her island. But I definitely think that she will, to some degree, be like an Aizen of this arc to some degree. Like she might be like at the end, toward the wedding, she'd be like, I knew this was all happening, But some of it's obviously
Yeah,
going
that's what I see
under
as
the radar.
well. Yeah, that's exactly what I see happening as well. Whereas Big Mom, like the whole time, everything just seems too convenient. Like, so the Luffy and Sanji moment, you didn't cover that. Like, did you think that was an emotional moment? Like comparing it to like the Nico Robin stuff?
Um, yeah, I definitely felt like Sanji had a lot more. Well, Robin also had her flashback too. That was pretty sad. I think Sanji, his flashback is, but I don't know if it's like compared to Robin's flashback is all that bad. Um, but as far as Sanji's like moments with him crying about pudding and stuff, I felt like that was a lot more impactful because it's like to some degree that's Sanji's like life. Like his life is women, right? And when you trust like a girl
Yeah.
that much, it's like, damn, it's like when she just backstabs you like that, that's gotta be really emotional for him because it's like and that's like his pride almost.
I mean,
And
it was tough. A lot of people are going in on Sanji because, like, it seems
just
like
overall, yeah.
Sanji, yeah, it's been pretty disappointing. I mean, you go back to like the Doflamingo thing and everything that's been happening to him. Everyone kind of feels like he's taking a step back. The Virgo, him getting his, chin
Yeah, that's a
cracked.
good point. I hope it's character progression for Sanji. Like hopefully he's gonna somehow power up this arc. Hopefully he reveals all of his strength. Hopefully he goes like Gear Fourth, like his equivalent to Gear Fourth almost. That would
Yeah.
really be impactful, I guess, because this arc has focused on him getting beaten down. Basically, the last few arcs have been him getting beaten down. So I hope that they kind of redeem him in a sense, like
He's
with
gonna
him.
have to have something, right?
Yeah.
Something to like on that level. Or do you think he's unlocked his exoskeleton yet? Like, do you think that?
I don't. You see, I'm debating whether or not he's going to get an exoskeleton or not. It seems like he might, but at the same time, like that might be another thing with Oda. Like he might not want to give him those robotic elements. He might want to make him more
Yeah.
human. And I've said that before. Like maybe he'll just learn hockey, and then that'll be like his equivalent to an exoskeleton. Because hockey is
So
already stronger than an exoskeleton in general, and
yeah.
Rokushiki will give him that advantage as well.
Yeah, I was saying that eventually Sanji's going to be able to like with like a kick. What do you think? Like a Rokushiki type kick, like Rangakyu, where it's fire racing though. Do you think he's gonna ever get that like amount of DC or like not quite?
Oh, he already kind of used something like that. I think. I don't know. What was? Are you talking about like him using like something insane like shockwaves and stuff?
Like a shockwave, like a ranged attack. That's like
Yeah, he already used one. Like if you
that
actually look
has
at yeah, if you look at Fishman Island, like remember he was sending those ranged shockwaves of fire, like the spectrum
right.
attack he
I'm
used.
talking. Yeah, on another level though. Like I'm talking
Are you
about like
talking
where
like
it's
just a
to the
huge
point
fireball, like flame burst?
fireball of like it's but it can slice. Like it's
Oh, I got you. Okay, I see what you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, like a
yeah,
slash. Okay, yeah, that would be really good. Um,
yeah,
I also
yeah.
think he's
Because it's like
yeah.
I feel like we've seen everybody else. Well, they've had their moments where we can see that they've powered up. We haven't seen that much from Sanji, right? So at this point, we need something else. And I think Oda kind of built up the exoskeleton thing, and it's like I think it's time for us to see more from Sanji.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm thinking he will probably have like I made a theory on this before. It was like rainbow flames or something, and it makes sense given
Yeah,
the island he came from. Like maybe he'll have because he already showed with the spectrum attack that his legs can or his fire can like change color and stuff. So he might in the future be able to use some like rainbow flame. The island was like what was that? The Okama Island. It had a gigantic rainbow encircling it. So he might be
mm,
able to have some kind of like rainbow flame. I also did a video on like him having different colored flames,
yeah.
like defense flames, like ranged flames or something. We already
You're gonna
saw on
have
Fishman
a.
Island that he can like turn pink with
I
flames
prefer
or
the rainbow
something.
flame. I like the rainbow flame instead of
Yeah,
him like being a full blown Okama. Like that would be better than him like actually, you know what I'm saying? Like because we yet to see the recipes. So if he has rainbow flames, that would be cool.
yeah,
I'd prefer that.
yeah. I think it would fit.
Um,
Like I said, it would be cool if he like split up the colors though, because if it's just straight up rainbow, it's gonna be like that's kind of underwhelming in a sense. But it would be cool
yeah,
also, I guess, if he had like some overpowered form where he goes full body flame and it's like a bunch of different colors just coming out of him, and that could be like what um sort of allowed him to fight on the island with the Okamas, like his version of Gear
yeah,
Fourth almost.
yeah.
And within that like style, maybe he could use like different variety of Okama Kempo, or maybe if he does have different colored flames, like with his legs,
Mhm.
a different style put to each color. Like maybe like how it has like um I don't know, he could have like just different varieties of Okama Kempo, I guess, just with each color.
I mean, people people are saying the rainbow flames equals gay, but I mean, I prefer the rainbow flames instead of him transforming into something
Yeah,
weird.
I wouldn't
Like,
expect something like super cool for Sanji as far as like his next power up. It might be cool, but at the same time, I mean, look at Gear Fourth. All right, whether you think it's cool or not, like I think it's really cool, but it's still wacky at the end of the day. Like it's a big fat sumo
yeah,
wrestler type dude, and he just
yeah.
flies around like a giant ball. Um, but it's still cool at the end of the day. I feel like that might be what Sanji has with his next power up. I think Zoro is sort of the badass character of the crew, whereas Sanji's a bit more of a comedy character while also having a mixture of badass with him.
So I guess you're saying that Zoro's always going to be over Sanji as far as strength, right?
As far as strength, a little bit. I don't think it's as big as people say it's going to be, though.
What do you think it is now? Because now, like, I don't know if you've seen like us been like we've been rating. We try to come up with a scale, like or a letter.
Yeah, people are all flames. That's very possible. I can see that, but like, I think some are because you got to consider he just trained with a bunch of stressors on this island. Okay, present that just like Luffy has animal forms, be like
Yeah,
Black Flame, Karasu, uh, like some crazy form like that. That's super badass. He might, but like I think his main form might be like a more Okama centered form. It's gonna be kind of
so
stupid in a sense, but yeah.
he should have something that can hang on Gear 4 right now, though, right?
Yeah, it'd be like his version, maybe not as powerful, but pretty close, I would say.
Hmm. Wait, so
Kind of close.
I
I don't know.
remember like you had made a theory. You made a theory. Like I think this is the first theory I saw about it, but it was about and you had mentioned that that island that picked up Capone was probably Germa.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah. I
Capone
thought
are
it might be
working
because it's like a
together.
magnet. But yeah, it
It's
doesn't
like a
seem like it would.
magnet and it was floating.
Yeah.
Wait, so what do you think now? Do you still think that, or?
Nah, not so much anymore. Because we already know they wrote on snails, so probably not.
I mean, yeah, but it's like, okay, so what's Capone's like role in this arc? What do you think?
Honestly, it it kind of. Ooh, I'm trying to think. I don't really have much of an opinion on Capone. I haven't really paid too much attention to him, especially since I've been
Yeah,
sort of on and off this arc. I haven't really paid too much attention to it, but
yeah,
I think he's probably going to obviously either betray Big Mom or he might even continue like with her because the whole thing with him talking about like crashing the wedding and like killing Peckham's or whatever, it could just be all still in alignment with Big Mom. You know, we don't know exactly
wait,
what him killing like Peckham's would do. You know, would Big Mom really be that upset by it? Because Peckham's was already siding with Zoe to some
right.
degree, and Big Mom at that point might not even care. Like she's like, you know, he's in the way, so just whatever. You killed him,
But
good job, whatever.
but what about what about what Peckham said though? As far as don't underestimate Big Mom, like people were saying that more than likely, Peckham's his whole plan. Do you
Well,
think
obviously,
that
at some
happened?
point,
Or?
I think he's going to betray Big Mom. Um,
Yeah,
this wedding, the fact that it's already a betrayal to begin with Big Mom
yeah,
backstabbing the Germas. Who knows if Capone is still going to stay with Big Mom or not? It seems pretty obvious though that he is going to probably betray Big Mom, but there's a chance that he might not necessarily leave her quite yet. I don't know. It seems like he's way too weak to I think fight Big Mom. It's pretty obvious, and unless he has some kind of huge plan involving like I don't know bombs or just some huge strategy altogether that is going to
yeah.
take down Big Mom, I don't think he has a chance to begin with. Although
I mean,
maybe he could be siding with the Germans. Who knows? I don't know.
I mean,
I'm sort of
it's
clueless
one.
when it comes to
I
Capone.
mean, it's one of those where like so this last chapter we saw three shadows in the distance when Bobbin got shot, and
Yeah.
it looked like it was Capone, Gotti, and Vito.
Mm.
Did you notice that, or
Um,
do you think it's yeah,
nah,
yeah?
I've
So
sort of
it's
been
like
on and
three
off.
shadows in the distance. Yeah, so yeah, so it's like three shadows in the distance. Looked like Capone, Gotti, and Vito, and they look like they took out Bobbin. So like we've been trying to figure out, okay, so what's the reason for taking out Bobbin there? Is he trying to let Luffy run wild to kind of create a distraction so that he can interrupt the wedding in some way? Because right now we don't even know what Capone's true purpose is.
Yeah, it's pretty confusing to me. I think the idea that he's just straight up backstabbing Big Mom would obviously make the most sense.
Yeah,
Have you know his might be more. You know, who knows? Maybe he'll
yeah.
work with Big Mom for the time being, and he could just have some other role involved. I'm really not too sure, honestly. Like,
Well, what
Yeah,
I think, what I think is that Capone. I might have mentioned this before, whether, but I'm not too certain if I have. I'll just say it again. I think Capone's role is to basically dwindle down the Big Mom pirates for the future of the takedown. You
what do you
understand?
mean?
Like, let's say in the future, Capone and some or Luffy and or Capone's want to take down Big Mom, and there will be too many pirates for them to deal with. So right now, Capone dealing with some of those pirates like Bobbins, but who knows? Maybe Bobbins might be alive. But for purposes' sake, let's say Bobbins is taken out for good,
Yeah,
and Bobbins turns out to be actually very powerful. But this sneaking up, this tactic that that Capone uses, allows them to not fight Bobbins in the future when Big Mom. Depending on this, also depends on when they fight Big Mom as well.
I mean,
Singer.
So you're saying Bobbin is gonna end up being like a strong character in the end, and Capone is gonna have to help Luffy and those guys?
Well, I'm not. I'm not saying that Bobbin is strong, even though he could be. What I'm saying is, it's a possibility that Capone has been doing this to other Big Mom pirates that could possibly be strong or as strong or stronger than Bobbin's.
Okay, okay, okay. I see what you're saying. I mean, I hear that, but as far as Capone, it seems like he has his like own plan though. Like I mean, I'm sure I don't know if his goals align with Luffy, but I think at the end of the day, he just wants to take down Big Mom.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know
I
if
agree with you.
it's gonna be, it's where he's gonna necessarily partner with Luffy, but I think take down Big Mom. I think Germa's gonna try to take down Big Mom. So I think that's where Capone,
And
where he's headed right now.
and
Yeah, he
another
might
thing,
try to ally with Germa. Um, it seems so like mixed for the most part as far as who's betraying who, because we're not sure if Capone knows about like Germa's plans or whatever, or Big Mom's plans against Germa. I think it might just be a bunch of people just backstabbing each other, and then it'll sort of break up, and then people will start siding with each other. I guess at that point, I don't know. It
for example,
seems we may have like people allying with Luffy too from that to add to his alliance too, like Capone maybe joining. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, about
something like
Capone joining. About Capone joining. Remember in the previous chapter or the one before that, Capone said that uh, people were saying that Capone was trying to give a way out for Peckham's by allying with Capone. However, just because Peckham's denied that, people are saying that I've heard people say that he's that's the reason why Bez shot Peckham's. And knowing how Luffy wants to escape Whole Cake Island after causing some ruckus, obviously, maybe that's how Capone ends up on Wano with them. I might be overanalyzing this, but you understand what I'm saying?
So do you think Capone? Wait, do you guys think Capone goes to Wano?
Capone. I think it's possible.
I mean,
It
because it's
seems likely
like
that there's going to be a Supernova alliance against Kaido to begin with. Capone, like if he stays with Big Mom after the whole arc, like what's his purpose from there? That would be the question. Like so.
I mean, a part of me kind of feels like it has to be, right? It has to be a
Yeah,
moment where
it's
it's
a yeah.
like,
I'm definitely verging on definitely siding with the whole idea that he might end up joining
King
Luffy.
has arrived.
hey,
How is
Matt, what's good,
everyone?
bro?
What's up?
Hello. How are you guys?
What's good with you?
Oh man,
Be
just
good,
hanging
man. We're
out.
just talking about Capone's purpose.
Uh,
Like, what is Capone gonna do here?
what is Capone gonna do?
What do you, yeah, what do you think about that?
He's gonna,
You know,
um, I mean, I think it's very, like, I think it's obvious he's gonna probably turn against Big Mom, and I say the same with like pretty much every supernova that's working under a Yonko,
yeah.
that they have ulterior motives, and that they're gonna most likely turn on the Yonko that they're working under, given the right opportunity to
Hmm.
do so. Um,
So I got another question. We were talking about this last night on Discord. So we're gonna touch on the Luffy being Pirate King at a young age. Um, but we're talking about Dofi, right?
mhm.
And Doflamingo, what he did to his father. And do you think like how do you feel about that? Is that in a way justified based on everything that happened to him? Or is Dofi just fucking evil?
Mm,
Like looking at his whole backstory, everything that happened.
Nah, I definitely think he was evil
Yeah,
to begin with because
yeah.
even before he got kind of traumatized, he seemed just like a spoiled brat, and he seemed like he was going to grow up to be that way anyway. Um, I think even Rosinante, even like he says, Doflamingo is like the incarnation of evil to a degree. So I think he was kind of destined to be evil,
Right. But
given
you're
his
right.
lineage. He just seemed to have the more dark side of
But
his lineage, whereas his brother and his parents did not. So he's most likely evil just by himself. added to that and made him even more evil, I think.
Yeah, so the thing is, like, do you think, like, him killing his father, like, if his father didn't take him from where he was, would he have killed his dad?
No, probably
No,
not.
probably not.
Right? You know what I mean? So it's just one of those where it's like, um, going from that to being tortured, like that could really mess with someone that's, a kid. And then people are saying, well, look at Rocinante and how he turned out. He went the opposite way. And I was like, well, you can't expect two kids to react the same way to the same situation. Like, it just doesn't work like that. People are going to react differently to things. So it's like, I mean, I think that whole thing traumatized him. I do think he was like more like that's the path he was headed to anyway, but it really messed him up to the point where it's like he felt like he had no choice. Okay, him killing his dad, like that was just, but I mean, like, look at all that happened to him because his dad brought him from where they were to, like, basically to getting tortured every day. He's fucking evil.
I would say like okay, I can't say that it's justified, but I understand why. I'm empathetic towards why he did what he did, even though it's messed up. If that makes sense.
Yeah. People are saying he had a god complex even as a kid. I mean, but it's like he was kind of raised that way, right?
Yeah, and he was.
Like,
it was how he was conditioned.
Well, if you were raised that way, then why did his father and mother decide to leave Mary Joie?
Because they wanted to go against it. They didn't. They wanted to live normal lives.
Yeah,
and that was Delphi's whole thing. Just because you wanted it, that wasn't what I wanted.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, so his father decided to leave. I guess he had to change their heart. He didn't want to be there anymore. So now, going from that to being tortured by these people, people are saying like Doflamingo should react like Rocinante, whatever. But then, I remember when this was happening, people were saying Rocinante was acting like a bitch. Like Doflamingo, he was the one that was like, okay, I fucking hate these people. Then he unlocked his Conqueror's Hockey. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't think like Doflamingo is not a good person, but I think that his everything that happened to him back then kind of made him the way he is. I mean, like that kind of altered it. And of course, Trable and those guys coming and telling him that he's the shit, right? Because then they were like, "Yo,
it only made it worse.
Like, you're a god, pretty much, and like you should act like a god." So I mean, it was evil, had good intentions, but it's just one of those where it's like, I like Matt said, I understand like why he would be that way. All about Dofi. What don't we know about Dofi?
We haven't seen
I'm trying to think what's something that we don't know about. Well, well, I guess so.
That's really
you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's really it. Like that's all we really like. I feel like we found out a lot of things about Dofi. The only thing that we probably didn't find out was that, and this is just speculation, that he was trying to take down Kaido with the Smile Devil fruits from the inside.
Yeah, I mean,
So he was kind of like
it's one of those where like I feel like we know enough. Dofi though, I think it's like at this point I don't know. I don't know what else we could. I mean, other than his eye color, like people are saying, but I don't know.
How did he become?
Dofi was trying to take down Kaido from the inside.
Okay.
You said what?
Right.
I don't agree that Dofi was trying to take Kaido out from the inside.
Who said that?
You know who said that. You could speculate. You could speculate anything, right? But with that, like looking at it more carefully, like Dofi actions, like what he was doing when we seen him and what he was doing before, I don't think he was trying to take Kaido out, because remember that's how Law surpassed him. Remember Law was like, yo, y'all was lazy, y'all got lazy past years. So if he was gonna take Kaido out, I feel like he would have been active training, like getting ready for that. He seemed very pleased with just ruling Dressrosa So I don't think he was trying to take.
Yeah. I don't know. No. I don't think Doflamingo was trying to take Kaido. I think Doflamingo was just the nucleus of the new world as he was. I don't think. I think he just enjoyed his spot
and being the underground, like not only
exactly
the Dressrosa thing, the being the king of the underground thing.
Yeah, he enjoyed his role. Yeah.
So what about
is my mic good?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Am I lagging or anything?
No, you're good.
So what about Doflamingo wanting to become Pirate King? What about that?
Well, I think him and his connections, it's like it was putting him in a better position to gather the resources to do so. But I think where he was content at that time. Like he was good being like the distributor and being connected to the underworld. I feel like he was in a good place. Like he was at Shichibukai, he was a king. Like he was loving life. I mean, it's like one of those like I'm connected to Yonko, connected to the world government. Like Flamingo had any worries at that point.
And do you think he just knows that? Do you think he just knows that Luffy wanted to be the Pirate King and he just said it to trigger Luffy or something?
I think that was his goal initially. I think like Trable and those guys, they were trying to hype him up to do that, but I think eventually kind of found his own way where it's like, Pirate King is cool. Maybe I get there eventually.
I think that he was actually trying to use Kaido as like leverage almost because it seemed pretty obvious that he was doing something to the Smile. We know that the Smile is radioactive from what we saw with like Caesar's vaults. Like when Law cut open the vaults of the Smile or the Sad, it was like radioactive. It was like green and bubbling. So
that's because
I think there's a chance that they were poisoned or something.
That's because
and I think
I don't agree with that. Again, that's because devil fruits, it's a hard thing to do. That's the only way they could create it was to like, do that crazy like Orochimaru type experiments with it.
Well, yeah. That's
another thing too is that like
you gotta realize Caesar's like kind of a jerk and he doesn't really do stuff the way he's supposed to.
Jack's devil fruit.
So for all we know, he could have like Doflamingo could have ordered him put like some radioactive poison inside the Smile, and that way when Kaido builds his army up, it'll just like fall. It'll just collapse because they'll all die eventually.
I don't think.
And Doflamingo clearly doesn't like Kaido. He's afraid. He doesn't seem to be friendly with Kaido. The second
like
stop producing the Smile.
It is. It's just one of those things where it's a crime organization and the part he plays is so big. If he messes up, he has to die. He kind of understands it. That's part of like, he knows what he was getting.
Well, obviously, but to a degree, I think Doflamingo has that ego. Like the second anyone tries to step over him, he's just straight up like, I'm above you. Don't try to act like you're above me. And Kaido is clearly above him. So I think he would do anything necessary to sort of take Kaido down or Yonko.
If that was the case, Kaido, every time we see Kaido talking, it's like, Dofi, we're gonna start this war. Dofi. Like Kaido's almost like in love with Dofi. So like I don't think it's no ill blood there. Like another thing too is that like
Jack,
Ty, to that point,
what? He's in love with Doflamingo?
Before you move on, Ty, I think Kaido was in love with what Dofi.
No, like
plot twist, dude.
It doesn't have
he's
to
actually in love with them though.
Guys.
Hold on. It doesn't have to be in a gay way. I mean, like he's in love with Dofi. Like
no.
Well, why can't it be in a gay way?
No.
Like he can't stop talking about Dofi. He's always like, Dofi, we gonna start this war. Dofi.
Guys.
He never said that once though. He never said that like.
Hold on, wait. What I was gonna say is that like we seen when the cat viper told Jack, he's like, yo, you got a rare delicacy, double fruit right there. So again, Kaido's only using the Smile for his fodder people, for the gifters. None of his top ranking people is using it. So it's like it's no big deal.
We don't know that. We know that there was a legendary, as far as what Vegapunk created, Vegapunk made a mythical dragon artificial zone.
Yeah, but Caesar's not Vegapunk, and remember the way
we don't know. He had a like an actual case with a.
No, I know, but
dragons like.
That was Vegapunk, so that wasn't Caesar. And remember when we already got the clear.
We haven't seen all the different types of Smile though. He could have made dragon or like different mythical fruits with Smile.
The cat when the cat told Jack, he's like, yo, that's a rare double fruits among double fruits right there. You got yourself a rare delicacy right there. Like that was a real life legit double.
Wait, no, he said that to Jack.
Yeah, he said it to Jack. So here's what I'm trying to say. Like based off of that, and from what we've seen, especially how he has gifters who doesn't like if he has gifters who doesn't even have double fruits, then he has the pleasures who have the Smile. So it's the point of that is just to make his fodder army stronger than the Marine.
Yeah, that's like, one of the purposes, but there could be like higher ranked Smile too. You never know. Because it already exists in the first place. Momonosuke has an artificial dragon fruit. So he could have replicated that. He could have replicated that and made like dragon Smile too. We haven't seen the
Guys,
full
the
army
one,
yet.
wait. Hold on. There could be the One Piece 5.0 that we just don't know about yet. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Something.
But I'm saying like the stronger evidence seems like, you know, he's not, because imagine like it's cool for the fodder people, but imagine how weak if Jack had a smile double fruit, he could only turn part of his body, he would have never lasted 10 days.
Well, okay, Jack's also like a top commander. He's like top 3. I'm talking about like the mid ranks. Like you see Big Mom's crew, the middle ranks are all like 30 middle ranks, and they're all pretty strong. So I think as far as Kaido's like middle tier goes, he might have a bunch of like stronger tier smile users, you know? And then the fodder smiles.
I don't agree with that because we seen how it was the ones without it. Then we seen
well, we haven't seen his entire army either. We only saw Jack's.
The highest people.
Yeah, Jack was pretty weak, so.
Yeah, Jack was
the
pretty
highest
weak.
people he has with it is like that sheep's head guy. He's not his mid range. Here's another thing too. Wait, look, we seen Shanks. Luffy had the Shanks had the rubber double fruit. We seen Whitebeard had the darkness fruit. Big Mom has all of these powers. I'm pretty sure that him being a Yonko, he has great double fruits for his middle tier people. I don't think they're using smiles. You get what I mean? Especially like these people.
Okay, yeah, definitely. There's going to be a lot of regular smile users or devil fruit users, but I think that smile has a lot of potential in regards to Momonosuke could turn into a dragon that could fly. Like, why wouldn't Caesar be like, hey, I can make this, I can replicate this?
Caesar wasn't able to do.
There were dragons on the island he could have took DNA from and replicated. Like,
Caesar's not on that level with that yet. Vegapunk was. And
you don't know that. What do you mean?
No, we know.
How do you know?
That's why they wanted
Caesar is Vegapunk though.
To try to like we seen the double fruits we seen from him.
No, we have.
Besides the one that blew up wasn't perfect yet. I'm not trying to like what you're talking about sounds better for Vegapunk regulation. But as far as
all Caesar has to do is take Vegapunk's devil fruit and like make a crappier version of that, and then boom, there you go, like a dragon devil fruit.
Is the version that we seen with the gifters.
Okay, Caesar has all of like Vegapunk's blueprints, dude. He could easily replicate that.
That didn't seem the case. Those double fruit.
It doesn't seem the case because we don't know anything about like actual smile. We don't know the full potential of smile. We've seen part of his work. We don't know exactly how much he knows yet. That's like.
Wait, Ty, you're saying that they're not going to have top tier smile fruits?
Kaido, no.
You think all smile?
He's saying they're only like the
across the board.
Nah, all right, check this out. So
he's saying only the fodder are going to have smile.
Right? And then he has the pledges, and you know how Sheep's Head was like the leader of the ones with the double fruits. I mean, the ones with the smiles. I feel like that's the highest ranking person we're gonna see with a smile on.
Yeah, I mean, I saw set in stone. I'm just saying it's a possibility. Like,
it has regular double fruit because like if you look at like you see how Big Mom people kind of revolve around the Big Mom scheme. So I feel like Kaido just has Zoans like double fruits that he acquired. Or
he saying though because like Kaido's army's gonna be huge, right? Big Mom already has like a huge.
That would be a disappointment, especially off what we seen. If his middle range.
No, I think it'll be a mix of smile and regular, and I think it'll be like a mix. You know, like I don't think it's gonna be just smile or just regular.
I think it's like we don't know if you can eat a regular devil fruit and eat a smile fruit.
I doubt
Kaido could have like a mythical and a bunch of smile. You know?
Yeah, so I don't know if a smile can enhance your body. Like I don't see why the top tiers won't be eating smile.
But I'm pretty sure it still puts some type of a soul into you or some type of a devil into you or whatever, and you can't eat.
So you think you can't eat multiple smile, or you can't? Well, it's not. I don't think there's not a soul in smile.
Yeah, there's no like soul in smile. So
no, but however, that's not true. That's like saying like when you clone animals, it's no soul inside. That's like saying like
there isn't. It's DNA.
There's no souls, man.
It's different types of cloning. It's different types of cloning. Like it's the type of cloning where you can take, like you can mix this animal with that animal and you give life to a new hybrid. Like those things have souls in it. Like it's alive. It's
no.
What I think Ty is trying to say is that, for example, you know how Vegapunk and Judge came up with the lineage or discovered the lineage factor.
Yeah, and lineage factors aren't souls though. That's the thing. Like lineage factor is basically just DNA. Like when you take DNA and you put it into something, it's like a modified organism.
What's up?
No, I know.
The thing is with devil fruits is like when you destroy a devil fruit or the user, the soul just goes into a new fruit. When you destroy a smile, I doubt
So
it
I
like
got
goes into
20.
it's a chemical.
I
It's
forget
like,
the name.
It's a chemical weapon like that modifies your body.
I forget the name of those hybrid animals, but like it's certain hybrid animals that they can't breed because they're like clones or they're like hybrids, but they're alive though still. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not like robot. They're not like artificial. All
right. Well, let's move on to the main topic though, because
before we before we do that, I noticed.
But do you get what I'm trying to say? Where it's like, the devil fruit is created and it's like alive, just like with the other thing with Caesar's like it's alive or whatever.
Yeah. Well, we don't know for sure. Like, that's the thing. Like, there's no like solid evidence either way. So let's just move on because Smile is kind of a weird topic.
Zach, what were you saying?
Something I've noticed that Doflamingo and Kaido share is that Doflamingo just wants, as he said to Law and Luffy, he wants to destroy the world, right? And Kaido, one of the first times we saw him, he just said, "I don't care if this boring world is destroyed," right? So that could be a reason as to why Doflamingo is working for Kaido, because they have somewhat of a similar goal.
Kaido's a drunk though, like he just says random stuff, but like I definitely think that he is sort of a
I think he just does what he wants.
Nihilist in a sense. Like I think he just doesn't care anymore. I think he's been through so much. He's like basically like a veteran pirate that's just seen everything. He knows. No, he doesn't care about.
But if I had to guess, I would say Doflamingo probably had another plan after working with Kaido. I don't think he was just going to work with Kaido the whole time. I think he had a plan. He was going to use Kaido.
I don't think he still has pride to him though, because like I don't think he's gonna just let Doflamingo stomp on him or like work with him. I think it's like Doflamingo is basically just trying to make money off him. Like Doflamingo doesn't see much out of him, and
it's a business partnership. Like
it's sort of an underground trade.
Yeah, that's it. But again, like the main thing I wanted to ask you guys today was Luffy becoming Pirate King within like the next year or so. Or at like what's Luffy now? 19?
Yeah.
Pirate King at 20. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's possible.
Here's the thing. This is where like you can talk like Luffy's a prodigy, or you could say on the other side he's not old enough. Like Roger was in his 30s, maybe 40s. And you could say he needs to be in his 30s. But the thing is, we're talking a 10-year time skip here. Are you saying like people who expect a time skip to make him older? Like what's the exact like limit are we talking here? Like are we saying he has to be at least 25? Or are we saying he has to be at least 30? So then that would be a 10-year time skip. So he's gonna fight Kaido and then be like, "Well, I'm not ready yet. Here's another 10 years of push-ups," and then he comes back like,
true. I agree with that.
And he's like, and then by then Blackbeard's probably already got like 3 devil fruits. He's probably taken over the whole planet. Like,
right.
What about Anel?
Anel's probably come back from the moon, just destroyed everything.
I feel like Anel's gonna be Blackbeard. You know?
Yeah, no, maybe. I mean,
like Light can't get absorbed. You know, he just can't do that.
So all right, let's get on the line. So Zach, what do you think about that? What do you think about Luffy and
I think it's possible. I think it depends on how Luffy deals with the Yonko. Like for right now, what he's doing is he's basically causing a ruckus around the New World. Right now, he's going to Big Mom. He says, "Let's wreck the wedding together." And then in Wano, I don't think Kaido's going to be defeated in Wano. Not sure about you guys.
He is. That's confirmed, pretty much. In a recent interview,
I'm not saying. Okay, so let me say this. It's not about Luffy's age per se. It's about the struggle of becoming this thing that seems so unattainable that Mihawk pointed it out. Yeah. Like this is something that like it's harder than becoming the world's greatest swordsman. So for Luffy to achieve that within like the next year, just seems.
Well, here's the thing. I think the job of Pirate King, which is like maintaining order throughout the new world, that's a bit much for Luffy to take on because he's not like emotionally mature yet. If we're talking power, I think he's a prodigy. Like he's Monkey D. Dragon's son. When you go back to like Marineford, at the very end, when Luffy was escaping, the Marines were literally like the admirals were saying, "We have to kill Luffy like right now. He is Dragon's son. He has like the strongest conqueror's haki, like on the face of the earth." And if he develops that even over a year, he could become insane as far as power goes. But as far as emotion, he might not be ready for Pirate King. I think maybe what'll happen is he'll take down Blackbeard, maybe a Yonko too. Then he'll reach the point where he like power wise, he's pretty close to Pirate King. but then he might take like a break at the very end of the series, wait like 10 years, and then sort of take up the responsibility.
Do you really think he's going to take a break, though?
Marco.
Well, I don't. Okay, what I mean is like he might just go around the world exploring, sort of conquering territories, because the Pirate King, it has like conquered all the territories pretty much, or at least most of them. That Rayleigh said that in order to become Pirate King, you have to conquer the Grand Line, and I think that's one of the requirements is to basically to have order and control over everything, and that's probably why it took Roger so long to do it.
What's up?
Not much, man.
But a lot of the thing too is like, Luffy has a free ride, right? Roger had to go into the Grand Line. He had to figure out where the One Piece was. Then he figured out, oh, it's the road poneglyphs. Okay, I didn't know that before. Then he had to go back, then come back to the Grand Line, do it again, then find the poneglyphs, and then find the One Piece. So it was kind of like a taxing process for Roger, I guess. Whereas Luffy has already been told, hey, here's the road poneglyphs, here's Big Mom, here's the road poneglyphs to go, and he's at One Piece pretty much.
So that's the thing. It's like not necessarily his age. It's about the struggle of getting there. Because look at all these. Big Mom has been doing this for 20 years, bro. 20 years, and she still cannot achieve that. But Luffy's gonna come in here and get that like within 2 years.
The reason why I think Big Mom hasn't achieved it is because she doesn't want to take risks. What I mean is, the Yonko have so much power that if they fight each other, then they're gonna lose a significant amount of that power. And Big Mom doesn't want that because she wants to She actually wants to conquer some islands, whereas Luffy wants to just have freedom around the oceans, but will eventually probably. I'm not saying definitely, but probably have to conquer some territories.
No, I think Luffy's version. People always say like Luffy doesn't conquer. That's not his role. He's not going to conquer them. Like we already see with Dressrosa, Alabasta. They're already on Luffy's side. Like he didn't have to conquer them because they're already siding with him. Conquering is like going in saying, I have control of you. If you don't listen to me, I'm going to kill you. That's conquering. But Luffy goes in, he makes friends with them, then now he has control over them pretty much because they support him. So this is more like supportive control rather than like threatening.
Sometimes with like Fishman Island, Luffy will just be like, "What? No, I'm protecting this place." And like kind of like what Whitebeard did. Whitebeard protected like Whitebeard, he didn't really seize Fishman Island. The way that Jinbei said it was that like, you know.
He loved
Say it again, Todd. I didn't hear that.
Wait, hold on.
He said that Whitebeard didn't conquer Fishman Island. He protected it basically.
He loved it.
All right, so Whitebeard, Jinbei said Whitebeard didn't conquer Fishman Island. There was all of this bad stuff going on. It was wars with pirates. People were selling mermaids and stuff. And Whitebeard came and he put that place under his control and he stopped all of it. So you know it's not be a bad thing. Like you don't have to conquer it.
Yeah, he didn't. Okay, so, yeah, he didn't conquer by the definition, but he just assumed like, I guess, control.
Yeah,
Like he didn't use force to like conquer the island, but it's just like
he protected him. I think that Luffy's probably gonna go around and making friends with everybody like he normally does, and he'll sort of meet everybody. And then I think after like a 10-year time skip at the very end of the series, once he's beat everybody, then he'll be like, yeah, I'm Pirate King now. And then his legacy will be like passed on or something, you know. I think that's the best way to end the series.
Like, I'm asking this because people mention Naruto all the time, how Naruto became Hokage at his age. I mean, he even had to wait a bit because Kakashi assumed that Kakashi's like, you know, you're not ready, blah blah blah. So he had to wait a little bit. And then, you know, they had like Yusuke Urameshi, how young he was, and he did the things he did. And I'm like, is One Piece going to make that same kind of mistake? Well, not where it's like Luffy does all this within the span of like 2 or 3 years.
I think it has to kind of happen to a degree because it's a shonen. Like whether you like it or not, One Piece is a shonen. It's a very good shonen. It's like a top tier shonen.
Right.
But it's still a shonen. It has to fill the requirement of being geared toward like an age group that's like around 18-ish.
True. Another thing,
appealing to like realism. It's not like, you know, it's not like a, what do you call it, like a seinen or anything like that. It's supposed to just be a kid going around the world, taking, you know, fighting, you know, forming friendships, blah blah blah. If he in the middle of the series just turns like 30 years old, okay, that's gonna kind of ruin the series a little bit for at least a lot of people. Sure, it's realistic in that case, but it takes the entertainment factor away.
Well, that's a bit drastic.
like
30 is a bit drastic. Yeah, but I think it's some way, right? Some way. I feel like Luffy should have to like reset in a way where it's kind of like, all right, like because I feel like he failed at Saboti, right? Like that was kind of like a wake up call.
Yeah,
and it happened again in Marineford. I feel like he should have like something else should happen to the point where it's like another step for his progression because I think Luffy is still at a place where he's like one individual was talking about in the chat where Luffy should be carefree. That's his personality, but he should not be naive. Where I think right now
like
he's still naive.
Like
okay, right now I think
wait, Master J, what were you saying? I didn't hear you.
I was gonna say yeah, I feel that, and what I think about it is this could end up similar to how like with Naruto, like the series wasn't finished. Like technically, you can say like Boruto is a continuation of it because we get to see a lot of it whenever he's older and he's already achieved being Hokage. So what if it's similar to that, where like he becomes Pirate King, but there's still like more to the story afterwards. So that's why it's kind of like a cop out. You know, like we get to see him achieve all this young, but then there's still more like 10 years down the line.
So you're saying that Luffy, when he's Pirate King, he hasn't defeated all the Yonko and all the admirals yet?
Well, maybe not. Okay, maybe he's defeated Yonko and admirals or whatever.
Part of what's going to,
but there's still going to be something else afterwards that he has.
Well, it's going to be a little bit. It's going to be a little bit different because Oda does these things a lot, these interviews a lot, and he says that after he's done with One Piece, he's not going to do anything else. So once he finishes this, and it can't be in a like way where he finishes it, so he's going to do a part 2. Once Luffy becomes a Pirate King, that's pretty much it. Like,
well, I don't think it's
I guess what they're saying. Yeah.
Okay, I think
especially
the story
with his health and everything.
The story is definitely going to simplify, like in the sense of like we have Blackbeard right now, right? He's probably going to take over. He's probably going to defeat Shanks. He's probably going to become like pretty close to Pirate King title. I don't think Luffy's going to go around like beating every single Yonko per se. I think he might beat 1 or 2, and maybe like a Kainu or something, or maybe like the Gorosei. But I think he'll maybe get like 3 major fights.
Yeah, that's like what the Supernovas. That's like what the other Supernovas is for. They might do something.
Right.
But
maybe.
But that's my point as well, right? That's my point. That's my point though. If Luffy does this, like, right? If like we have, doesn't that like Kid and Law and those guys, as far as like these guys had no chance and Luffy could beat all those guys.
No. But the thing is that like right now they stood no chance, and maybe right now Luffy doesn't stand a chance either. But by teamwork he might win, or by like who knows. But the thing is that like assuming that Kid assuming that like Apu got turned into a scaredy cat, assuming that Hawkins was like, I see death, I'm out. Kid Pop. But if Luffy, Law, and a couple of other people do it, he probably has a chance. And then another thing is that, like, if Luffy beats Blackbeard, right? So Kid lost now, right? But later on, Kid teams up and he beats Kaido, right? Or he beats Big Mom. The story could still end where like Luffy did the most, but the other Supernovas, like the main ones, they do stuff too.
All right. Well, I got a question.
Wait, so do you think that Luffy becomes Pirate King?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say. Well, I got a question for y'all then. Do you think that Roger completed everything after being Pirate King? Do you feel like he felt accomplished afterwards? Or
Roger had already before he became Pirate King,
did. I feel like he did because he willingly turned to Sofin, so that he pretty much like it was probably like little side quests he could have did, but pretty much it's like
Roger, here's the thing, like he came into the Grand Line, he figured everything out before anyone else did. Like he figured out the road poneglyphs are what get him to the One Piece. He could read the poneglyphs too at the same time. Then he came back like a few years later. Yeah. He went through it again, like essentially conquered the Grand Line according to Rayleigh, and then he took like the actual One Piece. And at that point, he kind of, I guess, disbanded the group after being Pirate King for a bit, and then he gave himself up because he was dying. Okay, so
here's the thing, like I was saying to be Pirate King, right? You have to be acknowledged as the strongest, right? You have to be acknowledged by your peers. It's like you're just the strongest pirate, like you're the leader of those guys in a way, right? So, do you guys think Roger fought every top tier?
Yeah, well,
you don't have to fight everybody though. You just have to fight like
I'm saying the top guys. He had to fight the top guys.
He fought Shiki, Whitebeard, Sengoku. Like that's enough.
Whitebeard, right? He had to fight the top tiers, right?
A few other people.
Yeah.
So Luffy has to fight.
Not every.
Luffy has to take down the top. He has to take down the top Marine. He has to take down Yonko, and he has to take down Blackbeard.
Well, I think that's part of where his failure came in, because we know that Roger, the whole reason why he gave up his life is because he could pass on the will of the D, okay? Or just the will in general of finding the One Piece. Now, I think where he kind of failed was in the fact that, A, the world government still had control.
Exactly.
Plus the Marines as well. He couldn't like sort of unite the world, which is, I think, ultimately what he had to do, given the One Piece.
That's the goal.
But he couldn't accomplish it because he was dying. You know, Garp was in his way. All the Marines and stuff were way too powerful for him. He probably didn't have that big of an alliance like Luffy does.
And I think a lot of people hated him.
Huh? Well, that's the thing with Luffy. I think Luffy kind of stands out in the fact that he has the whole friendship power. He can unite people. And that's what Roger didn't have, because Shanks mentioned a lot that Roger was selfish. He cared about his friends, but like he wasn't able to make friends as easily as Luffy can, because Luffy just walks around and a million people follow him.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at, because it's kind of like being Pirate King can't be the end of the story per se. There has to be a secondary goal, because even whenever Roger became Pirate King, like the world didn't know about the Void Century. Like all this history wasn't passed on. Like there's still a bunch of mystery that was left in the air that should have been cleared up.
No, true, but that's gonna be what I'm trying to say is that that's gonna be all done before One Piece is. I'm trying to say, like, we're not gonna get a like.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, after he probably after he becomes Pirate King.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be another story, Ty. You're right. It's not going to be a whole other like generation and shit like that. But I don't think once Luffy becomes Pirate King, it just ends there. I think it's going to be like the whole.
I feel like
like I said earlier, I think he's going to reach the One Piece. He's going to like sort of accomplish most of what he had to do, like take down the Yonko. Yeah. But I think once he reaches the title, once he takes down Blackbeard, he might still have to like unite the planet. Because I think by then, we're talking about like a final war here. We're talking about the Throne Wars. We're talking about something that decides the fate of like the planet. Okay, so once that war is over, the Grand Line, everything, the Marines, the world government, everything's going to be a mess by then. So I think Luffy's job will be to sort of clean that all up. And once he cleans that all up, like the disaster and the war, I think that's when he could say like, "Yo, I'm Pirate King now. You know, I'm sort of the leader and the the figure of this new world now. Like I represent freedom and blah blah blah."
So you think that
but then in a way, Luffy's gonna have to kind of like, in a way, appease to Dragon, no? Because Dragon has this like goal to like change, like overthrow the world government and become the new government. In a way, isn't Luffy gonna have to align with Dragon, or is he gonna oppose Dragon?
I have like a little idea that he might end up. I think Dragon might end up failing to a degree. Like they might end up allying, but I think Dragon will try to take over the world government. He might fail. I think he'll help Luffy a lot, but obviously since Luffy's sort of going to be the figure of like this new world, basically, I think Dragon might end up dying in the process of like fighting the world government and stuff, and then Luffy will kind of take over with Sabo and stuff.
But that's the thing.
That's sort of my idea as to what could happen. I think that would make a lot of sense if like.
Because how Luffy is now, if Luffy was to try to, unite the world, in Luffy's mind, he wants a free world with no Marines, with everybody just doing what they want, right?
Yeah.
Being carefree. But that's not realistic. Like, that can't happen. So it's like...
Yeah, that's when the new...
That's not true.
That's when Kobe takes over. That's when, like, Kobe and
right,
maybe Garp, maybe
that's not true,
that's when they come in. What?
Because if you look at it...
What's not true?
A lot of times... he's the one saving the day, and a lot of times the Marines are doing bad stuff. Like you might think that, but like
right, but you're saying that Luffy, right? In a way, say Luffy saves the day and then he leaves. There's no Marines. Like that's anarchy. Like with no one to keep people in line.
Though, when Whitebeard. So wait, hold on, yo, you can hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, somebody muted my mic, right?
Yes, sorry about that.
But so listen, when Whitebeard took control of a Fisherman Island, right?
Yeah.
Nobody did touch that place because they knew that it's like even if you got away with it, it was Whitebeard later, so they just didn't want to do it.
Well, that's
so, like,
part of
if Luffy becomes the Pirate King, they're gonna be shook. Like,
well, I don't think he has that kind of control either because he can't teleport around the entire planet. I think he's gonna have to have a lot of manpower, and I think the Marines will sort of align with him in that sense. Because we're gonna have Kobe, probably gonna have like Kobe, Garp, I think even Dragon, maybe Dragon, the whole theory about him being a previous admiral, maybe Dragon will take care, like, control of the Marines or something. Maybe he will also.
Yeah, and then the other thing too, I'm sure Luffy and Dragon could come to some type of mutual understanding where, like, you know, Dragon and the Rez will make sure that it's peace and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like there's gonna have to be a structure of the law in some way, and Luffy's he's a pirate at the end of the day, so he's gonna be in the opposition of that, regardless of who's in power. Like Dragon.
Listen, as far as Luffy's concerned,
them.
as far as Luffy and his crew is concerned, I remember when Aokiji came and Luffy tried to help those people. Then Aokiji came and they was like, "You can't let him help you. He's a Marine." And they was like, "What's wrong with that?" So the thing is that, like, if Luffy becomes a pirate king, pirates will no longer be the bad guys. Like, Marines would be the bad guys.
I was going to say that as well. It just depends on how you look at it, right? Because now the pirates are seen as the bad guys just because, like, the corrupt Marines are basically painting the picture as if they're the bad guys.
Perfect.
Like, if they get rid of all of that corruption, so, like, for example, say if Fujitora and Kobe became, like, the new heads of the Marines and Smoker, like, all these people that know that some of these pirates are actually good people, then, like, all of that stigma would go away. So, like, the bad pirates will still get for
That's the thing. How do you distinguish between the good and bad pirates?
Hold on. I agree with one vision, because any good cop, well, not cop, but any good Marine, right? With a brain, it's like, even if you gave Luffy this bounty at first, like, you see how he saved Dressrosa, and he keeps saving these places. Any good Marine would be like, you know what? Let's freeze his bounty, or let's like, you know, let's remove his bounty. He's a good guy. But
you think they would remove the Pirate King's bounty?
I mean, to answer your question, Roger.
Okay, here's an argument.
Here's an argument. You asked how would you like know between good and bad pirates, right?
Okay, here's the thing.
Luffy, you said remove the Pirate King.
Wait. One at a time.
Wait, hold on, because I was. Look, listen. Luffy's not the Pirate King. When Luffy did that stuff, he's still not the Pirate King. And look how many he keeps doing good, and they keep trying to, like.
No, this is a good argument. Because you know that when Roger reached the One Piece, him and Rayleigh had to make a decision, because Rayleigh stated that when they got to the One Piece, they were told about the truth of the planet, right? And they said they made a decision, and then at that point, they had to, of course, take this sort of path that they chose, given the truth of the whole world. And then what Rayleigh told Luffy was that he would have to make his own decision, and it might be different from Roger's, okay? So part of what I think that could be is, like, maybe Roger saw that, you know, the world would end up being perpetually at war forever if we took the freedom route, because people would just take control of the world again. So maybe Roger went for more of like a, maybe he saw like that he couldn't make that kind of decision. And when Luffy gets there, he's going to have to make that decision too, of like, how will the world sort of reunite as like the ancient kingdom wanted it to. So I think that's when this sort of discussion will come into play. Like, should we make the world free, or should we have some control over it? And that's why I think a new Marine
you have to have control.
So like the new Marines, I think, is a good point, because like if you have good people running it, like Kobe, Garb, like Smoker, like Fujitora, and then I think the world will be a lot better of a place. Because even though there's like a lot of law and control, there's still like no war. You know, people are somewhat happy, and I think that's Oda's ultimate intention. You know,
and like
after that's what I'm saying though. Like with like Dragon, right? They become the new government. At the end of the day, Luffy is still a pirate, right? That's why Kobe said that, you know, we're going to be enemies, you know, but I still respect you. So it's like at the end, Luffy's still going to be an enemy of the world government, regardless of who's in control.
I think he'll be like
hold on.
It sounds weird, but he'll make the Batman of the series, you know? He'll be like you have the cops and stuff. Then you have like the Dark Knight Luffy coming through, taking out all the bad guys, you know?
Didn't Dofi say in Marine?
But Luffy even said himself he's not Luffy. Luffy said he's not a hero though. Luffy's
exactly. He'll be like
Luffy and Kobe doesn't have to be enemies at the end, so I don't agree with you on that. The thing is that like when Kobe said what he said, right? He said that under the impression that things are the way that they are now, and that they'll always be that way. If Dragon changes things, or if Luffy changes things, and you know, and we get these Marines that are bad out the way, like the Gorosei, need for them to fight.
So you think if Luffy becomes a pirate king and he's like he sets the way as far as being a good pirate, all pirates are going to follow suit?
No. That's the thing though. Like it doesn't depend solely on Luffy becoming pirate king. Like Luffy can become pirate king and nothing would change. It would depend on like how this stuff with the world government goes. You get what I mean? Like if the corrupt world government, the ones that are hiding the truth, all of that stuff, like twisting it to suit their own needs, painting the pirates in like the bad light. If they stay, then nothing will change. Like once they go,
And
then that's when
Brago,
things can start. Like, and it won't be like all the pirates suddenly become good, but it's just like it won't be the sense that all pirates are automatically bad. So people like Luffy that are just trying to be free, trying to live their life and like find adventure. Do you get what I mean? Like they wouldn't be like instantly branded, because when you think Luffy hasn't really done nothing to no one, the only time he's actually like gained incredible bounty stuff is when the government did something to him first, or when like another pirate did something to him first, like a bad pirate did something to him first. You get what I mean?
All right, like
but Obi, won't you agree that there are more bad pirates than good pirates though?
Yeah, I would, but those are the people that would get caught. For example, like they already know who are bad and who are good. For example, Kids' bounty is higher than Luffy's for a reason.
See, that's the thing, though.
Like even though Luffy waged war against the world, Kids' bounty is still higher.
Because
I think it's an even number of good pirates and bad pirates. Because at the same time, I remember when we first seen Hawkins, somebody in his crew, they wanted to kill this guy, but then he pulled out his cards and he's like, "Nah, not today." And then he apologized. He's like, "Yo, like my bad for the guy on my
Well, this comes back to like the freedom versus like control.
Everybody's a savage.
This comes
control, because the Marines represent control, the pirates represent freedom. When you have too much freedom, you get bad pirates. When you have too much control, you get guys like Akainu who like go around killing everybody for.
You guys are forgetting something. You guys are forgetting something crucial that happened in Marineford. And I'm surprised that Brago, you forgot about this. Dofi said, "Those who stand at the top define what justice is. Those who
exactly."
Right.
Those,
right.
That's what I said about the corrupt stuff.
Right. Corrupt guys. Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, no, assuming right now, Dragon and the good Marines are in control, how do they proceed forward? How do they view these pirates now going
You
forward?
say
that's those like I don't feel like there would be
you say how
factions anymore. I feel like it would just be the world. Like literally the world government. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like imagine if you had like ambassadors, like one from
what?
Wait, say that again, Ovi.
He's gone.
What?
Just like that.
You just gonna stay in silence, or?
I think Ovi dropped out. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah. I don't know. As far as like the good Marines, I'm trying to get a view of like how they're gonna see the world.
No, but Brago, look, if Fujitora was in charge and Smoker was second in charge, Fujitora would just be like, you saved the day. I see it, and he would leave it at that. It's not like, well,
okay, hold on.
I know you're good, but I'm a Marine, so I have to arrest you. It's like no, it's like yo, like they can.
Who brought up the whole Doflamingo speech thing?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, you also got to remember though, during Marineford, what about Kobe's speech? Kobe also made the whole speech about the Marines, how they should represent like a good justice.
Yeah, but Dofi also said during that speech that those who've never known peace have different values from those.
What I'm saying is like, I think both of their like points come into play. I think you have to consider like both of them to a degree, because like I think Doflamingo represents like the evil of the pirates, and Kobe represents like the good of the Marines. But they both bring up like good points. I think those points will ultimately transition into like the end of the story sort of decision of how to control like the planet and stuff. So I think those points were like very important during Marineford because they kind of defined what's going to happen later on and stuff.
But it's crazy. I always felt like Luffy would never like really care about what happens with the world government. He just wants to do his thing.
Yeah. That's where he kind of might mature though. That's because like you guys are talking about like him needing to be mature as like a pirate king. I don't think age matters. I think maturity does though. And like obviously strength too, but I think by time he beats everybody, he'll be plenty strong. But definitely making those types of like decisions, how to rule the world or how to kind of push things in a positive direction. He'll have to kind of decide that based on like the One Piece, like what the One Piece says about the ancient kingdoms and like the truth of the world, basically.
Yeah, what I think something that could change him is possibly if anything happens to Fishman Island, like if they get eradicated or half of them get eradicated in some way, where you realize like this is bigger than me in a way, where it's like the world government, they're kind of affecting like groups of people and discrimination and things like that. I mean, Luffy doesn't overlook it, but after he does it, he's like, well, I'm not a hero. That's not who I am.
That's why I like the idea.
I like
of,
that you brought that up though, because like you know how they say that Fishman Island is going to get destroyed by Luffy. I like the idea that it's going to get destroyed as a result of his actions. So like I feel like he's going to do something, it's going to get destroyed, and he's going to realize, shit, I can't play these games.
Well,
anymore.
there's the idea that like has been around for a while. It's like the area over Fishman Island, which is like Mary Joa and the Red Line. I think that idea that like that's going to be destroyed and create the all blue and stuff. I think that's a really good theory because in the process of that, like the Fishman Island would be destroyed because Mary Joa would tumble down onto it and crush it. So I think Luffy at the end of the series may have to make a decision of like, you know, uniting the planet through like destroying Mary Joa and the world government, but then also destroying Fishman Island in the process. And maybe something like that could trigger sort of a maturity in him, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like he has to at some point, like if the story is going to progress the way I think it is, where Luffy, he kind of becomes aware of the issues. I feel like he's aware of what's going on, but he's kind of like, you know, I just want to be free. I just want to sail the seas with my friends. But I feel like if he becomes a pirate king, if that's what his dream is, he's going to have to like take on responsibility of that as far as like changing the world. Like I think that's why Roger kind of passed it on to him, and he's assuming that the will to change the world to like, because right now the world is fucked up. And it's like,
well, then that would mean that would mean that the Luffy would find out that the Marine or the world government rather restricts freedom in many ways. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Right, because like they say, with great power comes great responsibility. It's like Luffy, if you're gonna be pirate king, be the representation. You're gonna be the face of the pirates in a way, and it's like, based on how you act, I think once the new government assumes control, that's how they're going to come down on the pirates.
Yeah,
so if you act like
Aokiji's going to come back, right? His lazy justice is going to reform the planet, right? Lazy justice. That's the new like motto of the world, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Boom. What do you guys think about?
That's the
What do you guys think about Luffy like leaving the decision up to the world itself? Because like at the moment, everyone's opinions are kind of guided by the world governments. Like everyone's forced to think that pirates are bad. So like imagine if Luffy like finds out the truth and he's like, okay, so the only way for people to actually have true freedom is for them to make their own choice. So he just releases all of the information like out to the public, makes all of that information public.
Oh, that's a
so
good
the
point.
whole world knows the truth. Do you get what I mean? And then they decide on how
like a world, like a world broadcast, like Marineford was.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think he has to like pronounce him in a simple way, where it's like, if you don't do this, this happens to the world. Like the people you care about, like Amy, you know, Shirahoshi, all these people that are different. They're like, all these things are gonna happen to them if you don't do this. Because I think it's gonna be the people around him that's gonna kind of have to, I don't know, have him acknowledge what's going on. Because right now Luffy's pretty, I feel like he's just floating through like the world. Like everything is kind of oblivious to him until it's like right in front of his face.
Well, he can be like mature at certain moments. Like we see with Bellamy and stuff, when he walked into the bar and he was like about to beat Bellamy up, then he's like, wait, I have to be mature in this situation. Like I can't just get mad and destroy something because, you know, I'm angry with it. So I think that type of decision making will come into play at the end, when it's like just because I'm mad at like the world government doesn't mean I should destroy it, you know? Like it might hurt a lot of other people. That might come into play too.
I know a lot of people might not like this, but I see Luffy like when he's Pirate King and when he's like fully matured, being kind of like Shanks in a sense. Like Shanks still has fun. He's like carefree, laid back.
Exactly.
But he's not stupid. Do you get what I mean? Like he's not calling out everybody. Start a war with me. I'll take you on. I'll take you down. I'll take you.
But
he's made some really mature decisions in the past.
Hold on. One vision.
Yeah. Yo.
So not calling people out like Shanks, like when Mihawk walked on that island and Shanks said, "You want to settle the score, Hawkeyes?" Like that.
But the thing is, that was a duel though. That's not a fight to the death.
Yeah.
I'm joking around, but
that's completely different from how Luffy called out Big Mom.
One vision. So hold on. So you mean like Shanks showing up to Marineford saying, if anybody want to fight, teach? No, Blackbeard? Shanks said that to everybody.
But then what did he do though? What happened?
No. That
the
at
point
the same
that
time,
wasn't Shanks knew though. Shanks knew like him saying that at the end of the war, where everybody on both sides they've taken so many casualties. No, he knew. No, he knew what was going to happen.
Brago.
Like,
you underrate what Shanks did at that moment. I can understand if Shanks.
No, how am I underrating? I'm like giving him props. He knew like
no. Listen. You underrated because listen to what you just said and listen to what I'm
listening.
It's not like he said Sengoku. If you don't stop, you're gonna have to. He said everybody, like he said, like he meant he put it out there to Marco, to the Navy, in the Black Bear, to everybody. That's 3 sides he put it out to. So it's no way he knew that.
Wait. So you think Shanks came to Marineford for a fight? You think he came for a fight?
Yeah.
He came. No. Listen, Brago.
No, came for a fight.
He came. Listen, he came to end the war.
After fight with Kaido.
No, but listen, Brago. We don't know what happened.
Dude, he wrecked Kaido. He demolished Kaido.
This is one of those things.
He wrestled him.
Things that like when we get into like when we debate and when Brago gets cornered, he tries to twist my words around. So here's the thing: it's not.
I'm not cornered. I'm not cornered.
No, because listen very carefully to the words that Brago say from this point on, and Brago talk carefully from this point on. Listen, so Shanks came to Marineford to stop the war, but remember how like, right? Back in Alabasta, when she was like she wanted to do this without anybody dying, and Luffy gave her that speech that like you got to put your life on the line. So while Shanks wanted to stop the war, he went there prepared to like peacefully. He was ready to stop it by violence. So that's why he told everybody. Like,
wait, what?
To fight. He did not come to fight. He
didn't come to kill everybody. Like, what the hell?
No,
he didn't say they came. He didn't say they came to kill everyone. He said he was ready to stop it through violence.
No, he was prepared to fight, but that was not the purpose.
Yeah, he was.
That was not his purpose. All right. So listen.
Like,
he came.
Well, they would have to kill them or something, like something close to that.
Listen. I didn't say nothing about killing. I said he came there to stop the war, but he came to stop the war by any like if he had to beat
prepared
people
to do
up,
anything,
if he had to challenge everybody, like yo, if you and then he thought Black Bear was gonna fight him, but Black Bear was like, no, we're not ready yet. So Black Bear left. So Shanks was not expecting
my point was, what was the
that's different.
I agree with you.
That's like,
that's like I agree with you. Where it's like he was prepared to fight. We agree there, but his goal was to stop the war.
Yeah, but he was still, but in the mix of his goal,
he was there to stand his ground and to like fix everything because it was useless slaughter. It wasn't like.
Say if somebody got $50, right?
And
that $50 is mine, right?
Right.
So I'm just trying to get my $50 back. But if somebody don't give my $50 back, I'm prepared to smack somebody over it. So that's what like Shanks did. He came.
Don't try me though.
He tried to stop it. He was like, "Yo, if anybody want to fight, they got to fight me." And nobody wanted to fight.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Though you're proving our point though. Like when you compare these two situations, right? If you compare Marineford War, he was ready to fight. He would have done anything to stop that war, right? But then compare that to at the bar when these them bandits picked on him, he was like, I ain't gonna fight. It's not worth it. He knows when to assert his authority.
That's
what I'm saying. That's why I want Luffy to do
No, all right.
But Ty, real quick. You realize you disagreed with me to agree with me.
Wait, what? No. Because Brago, no, you said what you said. You said. I said that like because One Vision said that like Shanks doesn't try to like attack everybody, or Shanks doesn't try to wage war with everybody.
He's not a complete pacifist.
The point that at Marineford he was ready. He was like Shanks versus everybody. My crew versus
everybody. Nobody said he's a pacifist. Like he's not. He's not a pacifist.
The thing is that at the end of the day, like what One Vision was saying. Well, he didn't say this at first, but the new thing is that, like, Shanks knows when to hold them, he knows when to fold them. That's the thing. Like, he knows when to chill, when to take action.
But I feel like we agree. Like, you disagreed with me, and now we agree.
Nah, I disagree with Brago 100%.
On what?
I do too.
What do you disagree with him on? What? You're just like forming arguments out of thin air. What the hell?
So what are we? Tell me what are we talking about?
I'll be like, man, I brushed my teeth this morning. You can be like, tell me. Like, no, you're wrong. You're wrong, man. I disagree.
Remind me what we've been talking about, and I'll tell you why I disagree.
We were talking about Shanks. This is funny. Nah, but we might end it here. We've already gone over. I don't know.
All right, okay, hold on. I want to
make sure
quick though.
Y'all make sure y'all play the last 20 minutes back, whatever, and y'all check that back.
All right, we will. Yeah, we got some brand new hot off the play. Okay, one more topic. Is that okay? Is that okay? One more topic.
Yeah, man. Go for
Okay,
it.
okay.
I got 6 minutes.
Okay, real quick, 6 minutes, okay?
right.
So, all right, who is stronger, Luffy or Jack?
Luffy.
Jack.
All right, yeah, see, that's what I've been saying, man.
It's true.
How is Jack strong?
It's true.
It's mathematics, dude.
How is Jack strong? Let's be
Yeah,
real.
tell me how Jack's strong, man.
Look what he did so far. To me, he's one of the strongest people we've seen besides.
He stood there.
Oh,
and
one
took
of the
hits, man. What did
strongest?
he do?
What has he done that's so great?
He just took hits.
Ty, don't fall
Nah,
for
he
you know.
fought-
You know. Ty, you know how OneWorld feels about Jack. He's going.
He fought two. He fought. Well, here's the thing. How he feels is like, you know, that like I'm going off what I read. So he fought two high-ranking characters by himself while they swapped out.
Yeah, but he
But
lost.
how high ranking are they?
But
But
it doesn't
he
matter. No,
survived,
he
though.
didn't lose. What do you mean? He won.
Luffy
Wait,
survived
one
against
word.
3
Wait,
admirals.
wait,
What are
one
you
word,
talking
one
about?
word. I could say the same thing to you. That is
It's not the
Kaido's
same thing.
strong
You're being
because
sarcastic. Luffy
Kaido's
had a
taking
little-
hella L's. Kaido's
Yeah.
taking hella L's, but yet he's still a Yonko. So
Wait,
hold
talking
on,
about Jack,
hold
not
on.
Kaido.
The whole.
Yeah,
I know,
hold on.
but
This is
that's the
context.
same argument that you're using.
Jack.
Wait. Hold on.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay, but
so-
I'm comparing his
The
losses
Luffy-
to
wait,
his
wait,
wins at the same time.
Hold on. Listen. The Luffy fighting 3 admirals thing. He fought 3 admirals for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe
fought
Jack fought him for
2
2 minutes. You don't know how long they fought.
No, listen, but all right, just put it like this: you're making yourself sound silly because you're comparing like a 2-minute clash to a
He's always
5-day
silly.
long fight.
Oh, a 5-day long fight with the admirals?
No, with Dog Storm and Cat Viper that Jack had.
Oh, the dog and the yeah, because he had like 1 million troops coming in.
Yeah.
No, but listen, his
okay.
troops didn't. They had their own separate solo battle. Where it was just him versus.
Yo, why are you
two
even
homies.
falling for this?
No.
Pulling you
Listen.
hard
Listen.
now, bro.
He could be.
All
He
right,
could
all
be
right.
trolling.
Hold on. Are you saying the
all he wants. It doesn't mean that I'm serious. I'm just
because
answering him.
the hip hop down zone guards are
just
strong
answering what
because they
he's saying.
survive, right? Is that what you're saying? You're saying like anyone who could just survive is strong?
Nobody's saying any. At the end of the day, Jack
He didn't win though.
took
He didn't
limbs
win.
from them.
He
Jack
was
took
losing.
limbs from them both, and he still went on to fight Fuji, Sengoku, and Seru.
Yeah, he
still
lost.
went back
because
to
he had
Japan.
Okay, if
poison.
he came in and he did some damage to them, that'd be one thing. But no, he didn't.
He sunk 2 ships.
Like who knows? Maybe he's immortal too. Like maybe he just gets wrecked a lot, but he happens to be immortal. Like who knows? You never know.
He still sunk 2 ships. He did damage. It's not like
He shot them down.
Who were on
Luffy
the
sinks
two
ships.
ships, though?
Luffy sinks ships all the time, dude. He like. Have you not seen the movies where he just comes in and he's like,
so hold
gear
on.
third,
So
boom,
tell
ship
me.
down,
So
boom,
listen.
ship down, boom, ship down.
So tell me the chapter. Tell me the chapter where Luffy went up against an admiral and he sunk a ship.
Okay, let's see. Actually, there is one. What about Eni's lobby where he's fighting Rob Lucci and there's admirals in the Buster Call, but like he comes over, he does like gear third, he crushes the battleship, the entire battleship, and then he comes back.
What admirals was all right?
There were admirals
You said
there.
it was admirals there. What
There were
admirals was there?
What Navy Vice Admirals?
Yeah, Vice.
The
I'm
Vice
talking
Admiral.
about
But there were admirals there.
admirals.
There was an
Jack
admiral
did
there.
is on a different level.
In every Buster Call, there has to be an admiral. There was an admiral there.
Yo, Brago needs to like end the stream.
Well, you kicking it out, man? You feeling pressured?
No. It's not that
Unless
easy.
you've got him on world.
Oh snap!
You know what
Go for
it
the
is?
pin,
Hold
man.
on.
Need to be another stream from now on, then.
Yo, Zach,
Oh,
finish
man.
him. Yo, finish him.
like
Alright,
the
let's
stream,
see.
people. Like the stream.
Like
Like
the
this-
stream for the
Whoa,
time.
hold on. What about Sanji versus Virgo?
One
Let's-
world. That's one world.
Zach will finish this for the last
Oh,
2
come on,
minutes.
man.
Bone
Yeah, finish
density,
it,
dude.
Zach.
Bone density. Come on.
Oh
Bone density,
no!
Come on, let's be
Bone
real.
density.
All right. Do you think Jack could take a King Kong gun?
Zach was
Do you think
quiet
Jack could
while
take a
all
King
y'all
Leo
was talking.
bazooka? Or a Leo
Zach
Rex
is trying to say
bazooka?
something. Let him
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Let's not talk about Sanji versus Virgo, please.
Okay.
All right, yo,
Okay.
we'll catch y'all later, yo. Peace.
Yo, man.